Arrogance of the Galactic Empire. The Galactic Empire had ruled the stars for over 10,000 years. From the icy moons of Craven, six to the gas cities floating above Varelli's prime, their dominion stretched across sectors beyond counting. Their technology was unrivaled, their fleets unbeatable, and their pride unshakable. In their eyes, Earth was nothing more than a primitive rock floating at the edge of a forgotten galaxy, a minor curiosity at best. It was a team of Zarellian researchers who first noticed humanity. Scans showed a species capable of rudimentary spaceflight, digital communication, and early-stage artificial intelligence. Interesting, they had noted. Emotional, chaotic, but biologically adaptive. Perhaps useful. The Empire authorized a covert operation. Not for invasion. There was no glory in conquering such a simple world, but for acquisition. They would collect specimens, observe, experiment, and classify. Nothing more. Their target? Human females. The Empire's xenobiologists believed females carried stronger emotional responses, deeper hormonal fluxes, and richer genetic markers that made them ideal for psychological and biological testing. They would take them quietly, with precision, and disappear without a trace. The ships came in silence. Invisible to Earth's primitive radar systems, the small abduction crafts hovered over cities under cover of night. New York, Mumbai, Lagos, Sao Paulo. No place was safe. In each attack, a handful of girls were taken. Young, healthy, between the ages of 15 and 25. Hundreds disappeared within days. Some families reported strange lights. Others spoke of dreams filled with whispers and cold winds. Governments issued vague press releases blaming runaway behavior or mental health crises. No one connected the dots. Not yet. Inside the Empire's deep space research stations, the girls woke up in transparent cells. Needles pierced their skin. Machines recorded their brain activity. Robotic arms scanned their DNA while emotionless scientists watched from behind glass. The girls screamed, but sound did not escape the sterilized walls. One of them was Ayesha, a 19-year-old engineering student from Karachi. She was intelligent, strong-willed, and defiant. She refused to cry. She memorized everything: the layout, the cameras, the guards, the alien language written on the walls. But far from Earth, her family collapsed in grief. Her mother stopped eating. Her father went from police station to politician to psychic, anything to bring her back. He wasn't alone. Across the world, other families mourned, helpless and confused. Then came the whispers. A few amateur astronomers claimed to have seen strange lights in orbit. Online forums buzzed with conspiracy theories. UFO watchers began piecing together patterns. And somewhere deep inside Earth's intelligence agencies, alarm bells started ringing. But still, the Galactic Empire paid no mind. Earth, to them, was a child swatting at giants. They did not see the rage boiling under the surface of humanity. They did not understand what it meant to take a daughter from a mother, a sister from a brother, or a friend from a loving home. They underestimated how deeply humans could feel pain, and how far they would go for vengeance. The seeds of a storm had been sown, and the Empire, in its arrogance, did not even notice the awakening of humanity. In the cold steel walls of Research Facility 14, Ayesha lay on a slab, wires trailing from her temples. Alien symbols glowed above her as she stared at the ceiling, her mind spinning. They thought she was broken. They thought she'd given up. They were wrong. Days turned into weeks, and Ayesha watched, listened, learned. She noticed a pattern in the shifts, memorized the movements of the guards, tracked the timing of the surveillance drones. Most importantly, she befriended someone no one else even saw. A silent, frail alien janitor named Zorak, a low-ranking technician discarded by the Empire's rigid hierarchy. Zorak, though terrified, understood injustice. He had seen it before, on other planets, in other labs. When Ayesha whispered her plan, he hesitated, then nodded. In the dead of night, Zorak smuggled her to a maintenance console and rerouted a communications node. Ayesha, despite never having seen alien code before, deciphered enough to connect to a distant signal tower, a forgotten satellite orbiting Earth. She recorded a message. Her voice trembled, but her words were fierce. "My name is Ayesha Khan. I'm not dead. I was taken. We all were. They are experimenting on us, torturing us. Please, if this reaches Earth, don't let them get away with it. Don't forget us. Don't forgive them." Zorak sent the transmission. He was executed minutes later. The signal took 6 days to reach Earth. At first, it was dismissed as a hoax. But when independent tech analysts verified the transmission came from outside the solar system, everything changed. Governments tried to suppress it, but the internet moved faster than fear. The video was downloaded, mirrored, re-uploaded, and translated into every major language. Billions watched Ayesha's tear-stained face as she begged for help. The world held its breath. Then it erupted. Protests filled the streets. News anchors wept on live TV. Religious leaders called for prayers. Scientists called for action. Hackers exposed classified files, showing the disappearances had been far more widespread than reported. The truth could no longer be hidden. In a historic moment, Earth's fractured nations set aside their rivalries. From Washington to Moscow, from Beijing to Berlin, leaders gathered for an emergency summit. The result, the formation of a unified command, the United Human Front. No longer separate armies, no longer divided interests. Just one purpose: protect humanity at all costs. Underneath old military bunkers, long-dormant black projects were revived. Fusion-powered warships, prototype energy weapons, quantum AI networks. Technologies once deemed too dangerous or expensive were suddenly necessary. Engineers, scientists, and soldiers worked around the clock. Civilians volunteered en masse. Young and old, rich and poor, united by fury and pain. Earth had been wounded, and now it was sharpening its sword. What had begun as scattered grief had become a storm of purpose. Ayesha's name was now spoken across continents. Her face painted on protest banners, broadcast in recruiting ads, carved into the hearts of the people. The Empire had stolen daughters from Earth. Earth was coming to take them back, and the stars would burn if they stood in the way. Humanity declares total war. 6 months after Ayesha's message reached Earth, the void above the planet shimmered with steel and fury. The first of Earth's war fleets, codenamed Wrath of Fire, stood ready. Sleek, black, and bristling with experimental tech, it was a weapon born not just from science, but from pain, rage, and the determination of a united species. The flagship, Vengeance One, was the crown jewel of the fleet. Powered by a quantum fusion core and guided by an adaptive artificial intelligence named Iris, it could navigate hyperspace, cloak its presence, and calculate combat strategies in milliseconds. Inside its command chamber, Commander Elias Drake stood with a grim expression. Once a decorated general, now the supreme commander of the United Human Front. His daughter had been among the missing. He hadn't smiled in months. A target had been chosen. Research Facility 14. The same place Ayesha had sent her message. The same hellhole where Earth's daughters were imprisoned, experimented on, and silenced. "Engage," Drake commanded. The fleet tore through space like lightning. The Empire never expected an attack. Their surveillance systems had registered Earth's communications, but they dismissed the unity of mankind as temporary noise. They didn't believe Earth could build a fleet in such a short time. They didn't believe humans were capable of crossing deep space. They believed wrong. When Vengeance One dropped out of hyperspace, the Empire's facility sounded alarms. Fighters scrambled, turrets powered up, but it was too late. Earth's assault was precise, brutal, and unrelenting. Drones swarmed the facility's shields, disrupting their frequencies. Human warships unleashed kinetic railguns, EMP bursts, and directed plasma cannons. Elite strike teams boarded the station, wearing advanced exosuits and wielding weaponry designed specifically to exploit the Empire's known weaknesses. The Empire's soldiers fought back, but their discipline could not match Earth's fury. They were trained for control, not chaos. For containment, not vengeance. Commander Drake led the ground assault himself. Room by room, cell by cell, they advanced. And then they found them. Dozens of girls, malnourished, scared, but alive. When Ayesha saw the Earth flag on Drake's shoulder, she fell to her knees in disbelief. "You came," she whispered. "You help her up. We always do. We just needed to wake up." The rescue was complete within an hour. Before departing, Vengeance 1 launched a parting strike that shattered Facility 14 into burning fragments, drifting silently in space. As the fleet returned to Earth, humanity watched live feeds of the operation with tears, cheers, and trembling fists. It was official. Humanity had entered the galactic battlefield, and they had won their first war. But this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire was furious. Their pride had been wounded, their facility destroyed, and their authority challenged. They dispatched warships to investigate. They sent threats across the stars. They demanded Earth surrender. Earth answered with silence. And then, with a declaration of war, the United Human Front released a message to the galaxy. To the Galactic Empire, you took our daughters, treated them like lab rats, and called us primitive. You mistook mercy for weakness. We are not here to beg. We are here to end this. And across Earth, recruitment soared. New fleets were built. Secret weapons were tested. Humanity was no longer a quiet, divided world. They were an army. They were a reckoning. They were human. The Empire's regret. The Galactic Empire had never known fear. Not in 10,000 years. Until now. The destruction of Research Facility 14 had shaken the Empire's foundations, but it was only the first strike. What followed was a campaign the galaxy would never forget. Humanity unleashed wave after wave of calculated attacks. They didn't fight like other species. They fought like they had something to lose. Human warships, smaller, faster, unpredictable, darted through space lanes and struck vital outposts with ruthless precision. Stealth drones disrupted communication networks. Cyber weapons infiltrated and collapsed entire star systems infrastructure. Entire supply chains vanished overnight. Military bases went dark one by one. In just 3 months, the Galactic Empire lost control of over 40 key installations. Panic spread through the noble houses. Whispers of rebellion echoed across the rim worlds. The Imperial fleet was stretched thin, overconfident, and completely unprepared for Earth's relentless fury. Inside the Imperial War Council chambers on the capital world Varnaxis, the mood was grim. The Emperor sat silent. The general spoke in desperate tones. One word echoed again and again. Retreat. The Empire tried diplomacy. A ceasefire offer. Empty apologies. Promises of peace. But humanity didn't forget. And they didn't forgive. A second message was broadcast from Earth, this time by Commander Elias Drake himself. You didn't just invade our planet. You took our daughters. You hurt them. When they screamed, you watched. When we arrived, you ran. Now, we don't run. You'll learn what it means to wake a sleeping giant. The final blow came during Operation Eclipse. The United Human Front had tracked the location of the Imperial Brain Archive, a classified data vault containing centuries of research, weapon designs, and command protocols. It was the mind of the Empire. In a coordinated hyperspace jump, Earth's fleets bypassed outer defenses and launched a simultaneous cyber attack and ground invasion. The vault fell in hours. With it, the Empire's core systems began collapsing. AI assistants shut down. Starports malfunctioned. Cloning labs failed. Trade routes were severed. The Emperor was overthrown the next day by his own advisors, desperate to save what remained. A new regent was installed. A messenger was sent, this time not with threats, but with surrender. A galactic treaty was signed aboard Vengeance 1, with Commander Drake, Ayesha Khan, and the new regent of the Empire present. The terms were simple. No further abductions or experimentation on human life, punishable by annihilation. Recognition of Earth as an independent and sovereign power. Financial and technological reparations for every human abducted. Galactic broadcast of the Empire's crimes and formal apology to the people of Earth. It wasn't just justice. It was a warning. Ayesha stood on the deck of the ship, looking out at the stars. She had once been a girl chained in a cold cell, forgotten by the universe. Now she was humanity's symbol of resistance. A legend. Her voice had become a weapon, and humanity's war had become a message. We may be small, we may be new, but we are not prey. We are the fire. We are the storm. We are human. The Galactic Empire would never forget, and neither would the stars.